What is going on, guys? Since the new Dark Eldar book just came out, and I'm actually doing a Dark Eldar commission at the moment, I figured I'd make a quick little video to show you guys how I paint Dark Eldar flesh as opposed to just regular, human flesh. So before I get the video started, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Patreon, because that is basically what allows me to make these videos. Link will be at the top of the description. For less than a cup of coffee per week, you can basically help me make videos, as well as get all access to all videos early and entry to giveaways I do. In fact, I'm about to start doing a tutorial on an entire process of painting a Warlord Titan. Not a Warlord, sorry. That'd be a bit expensive. A Warhound Titan. And I'm actually going to be giving that away to one of the Patreon supporters when I'm done. But anyway, to the video. I primed it black. As you can see, I used Vallejo Airbrush Primer Black. And then I did a base coat through an airbrush with Vallejo Game Color Hexed Lichen. I've now mixed Vallejo Mecha Color Off White, but you can use any Off White, or even just mixing like a khaki or a bone white with a bit of white and then adding that to your Hexed Lichen. And I've sprayed zenithally, as you've seen in some previous videos, to basically just give it a natural shadow. I'm now doing the exact same thing, but I'm just adding a bit more of the off-white. So the first time I did it, it was about 50-50 Hexed Lichen and off-white. Now I'd say it's about 70-30 off-white to Hexed Lichen. And as you can see, I'm doing that to both of these heads because I'm actually doing it to two heads at once. Now after that's done, I went to some brushwork. So I'm actually using just a tiny little bit more off-white to Hexed Lichen as I was in the previous step, and I'm using a brush now. So it's probably about, I'd say 80-20 off-white to Hexed Lichen. But you can see there in the top left on my wet palette, you can actually see the kind of color that you're looking at wet, because I know when you look at a dried paint, it's much harder to actually mix to kind of match that, because as paint dries, it does change color a little bit. Sometimes it darkens, sometimes it lightens. So you can see there how it actually looks when it's wet. So when you're actually mixing it, that's the exact tone you're going for. So we're just picking up all of the little raised areas, the bridge of the nose, the tip of the nose, the cheekbones, eyebrows, basically these models are pretty easy to do, because basically the sculpting really lays it out for you. So you can pretty easily see where all the raised areas are. Since this dude's got most of his head exposed, I'm also doing, all the forehead and the back of his head and whatnot. So the next step, I'm continuing the same thing, but it's really just about pretty much only bone white now. There is a tiny bit of hint of purple. And I apologize for the camera going out of focus. I was having problems with it, but I have changed the setup, so I'm just, getting used to it again. But yeah, pretty much entirely bone white now, with a tiny hint of purple just to keep, that color in there. And just picking out the same areas as the step before, but just leaving a tiny bit more, of the previous color behind. I'm now going in with a brush, and I've actually mixed the bone white with a little bit of dead white. And we're really just using a very, very thin brush, size 0, and just picking out the very, very tips of what we've been doing before. So, you know, the very tip of the nose, tip of the ears, maybe the insides of the, you know, eye sockets and eyebrows and whatnot. Once again, apologies for the camera being out of focus. It decided it wanted to focus on the cutting mat as opposed to what's closer, which is frustrating. But you get the general gist of what I'm doing here. I hope, at least. I'm now using Games Workshop's ink, their purple ink, Druchi Violet. And I'm just basically just reshading some of the areas that I may have screwed up a little bit, as well as darkening some of the areas that I want. So you'll see when you first do the zenithal highlights where the natural shadows occur. So under the eyes, around the nose, you're basically outlining, accentuating some of the features by darkening some of the shadows back up. So this will be the last step for the flesh, and after this, I just filled in all the rest of the details, and that's done. Because this isn't an incredibly high level paint job on this model, so this is an easy way you can bang out, you know, as many Eldar Flesh heads as you want. And it's pretty easy to consistently make them look good. So if you found this video helpful, please like the video and smash that subscribe button. As I said before, check out Patreon if you're interested. Like I said, it's $5 a month, gets you in, and gets you entries to models that I give away, as well as giving you the satisfaction of allowing me to continue making these videos, because, you know, it does take a lot of time for me to do this. So, you know, it's not a cash grab, but money needs to be made. Bills need to be paid, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm going to be starting that Warlord, I keep saying Warlord, Warhound Titan video shortly. If you enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.